saw those posters of the movie Gehraiyaan, right? Were you a part
Yeah,
of
so I
that?
was the intimacy coach on Gehraiyaan. I was the person who did the workshops for the actors before they
That's
went on stage.
amazing. That's amazing.
Now new projects are releasing. Scoop is coming, Kohra is coming. SPKK
Wow.
released a trailer. -1 happened. Closure
Yeah.
happened after that. But I think Gehraiyaan is so memorable for having like a team of intimacy.
But how was it working with that cast? And let's come down to basics.
I remember when Shahrukh called me, and Gehraiyaan was, so to say, the first film to have like an intimacy team. So like I was the intimacy coach, Dar Guy was the intimacy director, Asa Khanna was the certified IC.
Intimate is the right word, be it the songs, be it the scenes. Of course, certain scenes were a little sad, but even the happy scenes, brilliant. Okay, now enough with the intro. Where do I start? I mean, she is so multi-talented. There are so many layers of God knows what, actually. But whatever I do know of her, I'm going to quickly introduce her to you all in layman terms possible. And the list is obviously never ending, but bear with me, viewers. She is extremely talented, and you'll shortly know why. She's an actor, she's a clown, she is an intimacy professional based out of my favorite, Amchi, Mumbai. She has trained with IDC for intimacy coordination and has been engaging in continued education, be it on consent, trauma-informed approach, in performance spaces, gender diversity, and conflict resolution, to name a few. She is known to passionately deliver diverse stories across mediums. Her vision and mission is to create a culture of consent and braver performance spaces for artists in India. Like, I messaged you, we start talking about work, and I'm just like, wow, this woman has done so many things. It's incredible. Like, how
And I saw your profile and I was like, okay, there's someone who's almost absolutely as crazy as I am. So that's always nice to know, So I'm just like, yay!
Let me start with the cliched question, right? So you call yourself an actor, an intimacy director, a coach, and even a producer. So just take me through the different layers to you. I mean, how does it feel doing all of this together, and take me through the creative process?
I want to have the freedom to create. Now, am I creating as a character on screen that's written by someone else? Am I writing so that I can talk about a character and share a story with someone else? Am I financing or producing a story which I truly deeply believe in? Or am I coordinating and choreographing the way a story should be told? For me, it's always been about sharing a story, and that I think is at the core of who I am. I want to be able to tell stories that have never been told before. I want to be able to introduce magic through storytelling. I want to be able to introduce the idea of freedom of thought, of expanding horizons, and most importantly, I want to see some more kindness. I want to have stories or tell stories that are about kind people, nice people, or people overcoming their journey through the darkness. Because I feel like there are so many stories that we tell in this country, but more and more I see stories of violence. I see stories of heartbreak and gangsters, and yes, those stories need to be told. But like, I miss the little rom-coms, maybe. I miss the unconventional rom-coms. I miss seeing women like me on the screen. For me, it's that I want to tell stories with a heart, and that's where I am.
There was a movie that I wanted to ask you about called Sana, right? The one, I mean, Radhika Madan was in it. I believe you were a part of that movie as well. So could you tell me a bit more about your role that you played? And I also believe that this was a part of New York Film Indian Festival, right?
Yes, and the
So
UK
that's like
India Film Festival now, where it's won the Best Actress and Best Director.
That is an achievement for India on a global platform. That's just brilliant. Take me through that process of how did you bag this role, and How does it feel now to be known internationally?
I had gone to meet Sudhanshu as an intimacy professional. And while we were working, and Sudhanshu says, "You're an actor also." I said, "Yes, I am an actor." He said, "Will you audition for a character?" I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll audition for a character." And there's a character, Pinky, in the film. And it's not a huge role in the sense of the number of minutes on screen. It's a huge role as in the impact that it has to the story. The minute I read Sana, the script, I was absolutely in love with it. And for me, it was just great that I'm a part of a story like this. I don't want to say much because I don't want to spoil the moment when everyone gets to watch that film. But that film is so much heart and so much research. And I remember this conversation that I had with Sudhanshu where he said that we want women to make women-centric films. So we are the people who are oppressing women, and then we expect the people who are getting oppressed to do the emotional labor of telling us how they are getting oppressed. No. And he wanted to subvert that narrative. And to me, that idea was amazing, that someone wants to put in the emotional labor.
But does that release on OTT anytime soon? Or
I think right now we're still doing the film festival circuit. I hope it gets released because I really feel that film deserves it.
Along with Sana, you were also part of another rom-com series called as -1, right?
I was the intimacy director.
All of them in it. So, again, what made you go for that series and how was the process for that?
Gauri recommended my name, and then I met Siddharth, and then I met Shubham Yogi, who's a fabulous director. And then it just so happened that we all gelled and we said, okay, let's do this. When I had my first meeting with Shubham, I remember he was so open and he was so curious and he was so glad that he had someone he could rely on, and that was beautiful. I think people find me, and I'm really grateful to the universe that the people who find me find me.
Yeah, just like how I found you.
I'm telling you, it's universe.
You have met the heartthrob of not just India. I think he's loved all over the world. SRK. You've interacted with that man. I came across that tweet and I had to put this down in my notes to just ask you and probably feel a little jealous among other lady viewers watching us today, that how did you become so lucky? And what was it like meeting Shahrukh Khan the Great?
But,
yes, make me jealous.
I used to work with Birla Sun Life Insurance. There's a place called Kidzania in Bombay, which is like a kids theme park which allows kids to explore their passions. And Birla Sun Life had created a space there which was talking about not jobs but passion, which was then our sort of brand tagline for our child protection solutions. I remember that my CMO, Ajay Kakkar, he found out that I'm a big Shahrukh fan. And he said, okay, you're a big Shahrukh fan, and Shahrukh is one of the, I think he's on the board of Kidzania, and he said, we are going to make you meet Shahrukh. And I was so shy, and I was like, are you sure? But like, he totally went for it. He found the person from their brand team. He told them she has to meet Shahrukh Khan. And for like 10 seconds, I was just staring at him. I was like, and I told him, I just want to let you know that my love story is very much like DDL. Yeah. And he said, congratulations, and he gave me the nicest hug. And I think like when you're talking to Shahrukh, even if it's for like 10 seconds, but those 10 seconds, I felt so seen. Because when he's talking to you, he's only talking to you. And I learned such an important life lesson that day. No matter how much time you spend with people, make them feel that you see them, because that is so important.
I think intimacy kind of dwells into that very thought that you mentioned, right? Being seen.
Yeah, being seen by people you're intimate.
What does the rest of the year look like? Obviously, there's been so much going on up until now, but what does the rest of 2023 look like?
I'm working on a Hindustani version of Streetcar named Desire, where I'm acting. I've always wanted to play the role of Blanche, and a couple of my friends and I, we've started working on that piece. There's another play that I do which is called Revolt. She said Revolt again, so I want to do more shows of that. I have like 4 short film scripts. One of them we are shooting on the 27th, so I'm excited about like short films where I'm acting and I've written them. I have directed my first visual poetry, so I'm hoping that sort of gets done and comes out. I'm hoping to do more work in the consent space with production houses and with studios, with platforms, all of them. So that's what I'm looking at. Lots of acting.
In my show, it's called Not From Your Script. Okay? So, obviously, you know the drill. It's going to be some very spontaneous questions with some spontaneous answers. It's just to really understand who the real Neha is and what her innermost desires are. So, are we ready?
Yes.
A film that you can watch for the 100th time without getting bored.
Ijazat by Gulzar.
Good.
1,000
That's a
times.
good one.
Forget 100. 1,000 times I can watch Ijazat.
How many times have you watched it so far?
I have lost count. I think I've 100 to pakka cross kiya maine.
Radhika Madan in Sana or Esha Ahmed in -1? A role you would take up without a battle of an eyelid if you had to choose.
Pinky in Sana. I like my character.
If you had to describe yourself in one word, just one word, what would it be?
Can I use two? Because it's like a little bit.
Okay, try one. And then we can even hear the two words. For you, so the multi-talented person, it's allowed.
I am magic.
Oh,
that I'm magic and I am.
Yeah, you're like a miracle in motion, actually.
I like that. I'm gonna use it. That's gonna go on my Insta bio. Miracle in motion. I like this.
So art, aesthetics, creativity. I want you to rank these terms in order of preference. What matters to you out of all these three?
People.
That's not even
People above
fair.
art. People above
Wow.
aesthetics. People above creativity.
Okay.
I think when
That's
we ask these
nice.
questions, we forget. It's people who make art. People who are creative. People who are aesthetic.
What television show, movie, or a novel, or even a comic book do you think would make a great theatrical stage production?
Alice in Wonderland. And my favorite line in the world is in that book. We're all mad here. But can I tell you a secret? All the best people
Oh,
are.
yeah. So that is the end of this round, not from my script, and it was definitely a treat. Extremely insightful to hear your answers.
You ask good questions. I have given interviews, but like I always feel like it's the same questions that get asked. But like your questions are so nice and interesting.
But with that, Neha, we come to the end of the show, and I really want to thank you once again for squeezing in the time to be a part of this talk show and unscript your life's journey so beautifully from the heart. Like I said, it's been amazing interacting with you virtually that I just cannot wait to jump over the screen, come and meet you in person.
Come
someday.
on, come to Bombay.
We, of course, at the Unscripted Perspective, wish you nothing but, the best and
Thank you so much.
so many more milestones to achieve, so much achieved already, right? The list is never ending, but I'm sure that list is going to be never ending, of course, with a lot more to achieve. I hype
मुझे
it
तो
up.
बात करने में इतना मजा आया. This is good enough for me. I had
Yes,
such fun
absolutely.
chatting with you.
I have not had this much fun, and I kid you not, with anyone who has come on the show till now. It's been so natural, like free-flowing.
Yeah.
And I always plan, but this time I have just left it, like you have taken over. And I have just been there as a spectator. It's all you, and it's amazing.
I've loved chatting.